Hey, folks, how you doing? My name is Andrew. Popcorn and whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. Salute. Cheers. Here we go. The show with just about everybody likes, with contrary to a few out there, and you know who you are, who decide to watch it on a whim based on what others have told you, and then proceed to lie in my face about what you saw because you didn't actually see it. So yeah, cryptic again. He'll come out. It will come out. And when it does, ooh, mercy. Somebody's not going to be happy. Who's this? Kindly Clean. Hey, hi, Kindly Clean. Don't know who you are, but thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Join the fun and all the good stuff. So my name's Andrew. Like I said, I am the face who runs the place, Popcorn and Whiskey, where I break the rules of live streaming. And how do I do that? By doing this. Tonight, no popcorn. Two reasons. One is really didn't want any tonight. I ate too much junk today. And I'm getting away from that. And number two, I don't have any. I ran out the other night. I was watching a movie. So did not or do not have any. And honestly, yeah, in all transparency, yes, I was going to pop some. But when I realized I didn't have it, I'm like, well, maybe that's God's way of telling me, hey, dude, you're getting too fat. You need to cut that out. So, okay. So, all right. As the promo showed, and I don't know if you guys see the promo or not. Well, first of all, thank you for being here. Triple casting tonight, Facebook, Twitch, and I'm going to YouTube tonight just to see how YouTube is going to stack up. There's a pretty good chance, probably an 80% chance that YouTube channel, the Popcorn and Whiskey YouTube channel, is going to be going bye-bye and going to be turned into something completely different. Like I said, 80% chance, not officially sure how I'm going to do that or why. I know how I'm going to do that, of course, but why I'm going to do that and what direction it's going to go. I have thrown around a couple of things, so we'll see how that works out. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about happy birthday, U.S. Army, and happy birthday, President Trump, and happy Flag Day. There you go. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the, what are they calling it? The No Kings? What? That's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Let's see. No Kings. We're gonna have a No Kings rally to a country who elects a president every 4 years. Huh. Huh. Yeah. But we're gonna rally because we don't want kings. Okay. Yeah. What? Okay. Again. So I have my list here. I have a list of topics I want to go right. The stupid people I just talked about. I'm going to talk about a boat. I got a paddle boat. I'm going to talk about the motor I got for it. Yes, I got a motor for a paddle boat. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We will talk about put down internet speed. If we get to all this stuff, I don't know if we will or not. Yahoo stories. I decided to put that on there, but a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on. Again, happy birthday, United States Army, 250 years. Happy birthday, President Trump. I do believe it's 79. And happy Flag Day. Okay, flag right there. And if you didn't know, this is the U.S. flag. Wait a second here. There, okay. The U.S. flag and the Italian flag combined into one. I got that for a birthday present. Why? Because I'm a patriot of the United States. Thank you. Yes, I am a legal citizen of the United States. Got a passport, driver's license, got it all. And I'm not afraid to show it. And I wish other people would be the same. And also my Italian heritage from my mother and father being there. In all transparency, I'm also a Canadian citizen. So I got dual citizenship. But you're not seeing me go to Canada and protest, do you? No, yeah, we'll talk about that another time as well. Okay. Also working out. We'll talk about working out. and different things. Let me start with this because this is really bugging me lately, and I'm in no look at this shirt. I'm in no shape to talk um, about being overweight because I am overweight, and I'll freely admit it. That is changing, and but if you look at pictures now, you know what? I wonder if I'm actually broadcasting. I would assume I'm broadcasting. Let me make sure my mic is actually on here. Yeah. Okay. It is. Okay. Okay. So if you look at pictures from 30 years ago, 60s and 70s, if you will, I think longer than that, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. My words, 1975 is 50 years ago. You know, we are farther away from 1975 than 1975 was to World War II. Isn't that weird? Yeah. Okay. But if you look at pictures from the 70s, even the 80s, and a little bit into the 90s, pictures of people at the beach and everything else, you don't see a whole lot of obesity. Now, holy crikeys, that's all you see. And yes, I'm going to mention a school, not by name, but I'm going to mention a school. So those are out there who are bitching about it. No, I'm not talking about any particular students, not talking about any particular school, not talking about any particular classes. So quit your bitching about it. Okay. But if you look at the schools, you look at how overweight people are and I say people because I mean students and the faculty and the staff. How can you expect your students to be healthy, to be non-fat if you are? What example are you teaching your students if you're fat when it comes to health? Yeah, and I'm talking about myself as well. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's the facts. Okay, you say you need to be a good role model for your students. Well, quit being fat. If you are, you're part of the problem. Yeah, you are. Again, I'm just as guilty as the next person. I have gone as far as challenge students to push-ups contest. No, they haven't won yet. Well, one did several years ago, and this is how we did it. I think he was cheating because I wasn't watching, but here's how we did it. We started with 5 push-ups. You do 5 push-ups, and then you have to wait 30 seconds. So I start a clock. You wait 30 seconds. No, every minute you start more push-ups. So at the top, when every 60 seconds you started another one. So when it's 0, you did 5 push-ups. Then you got to rest the rest of the 60 seconds. And once the 60 seconds was up, it hits 0 again, if you will. You do 6 push-ups, and then you wait the rest of the 60 seconds. Then you do 7. Then you do 8, and so on and so forth. Well, there was one kid who was going stride for stride with me. Again, I think he was cheating. And one day I'll find him and I'll ask him because I think he was cheating because I wasn't always looking at him. We each got up to 22, and I 22 push-ups. I could not finish the 23. He did 1 or 2 more after I did, after I looked up and saw him. I don't know if he was actually doing them or not because every time I was doing it, he was done. So I don't think he was doing it. He claims he was, but it's a student at the time. But and I figured it up, and well over 200 push-ups we did. That was fun. But ever since then, no, they can't beat me. So that's something to talk about there. But if you want to set an example for your kids, for the students, for your particular kids, your particular students, if you're a teacher or if you're a parent or grandparent or what have you, and you are overweight, guess what? Hi, Lana. Babes, hey, love that profile picture, by the way. Holy moly. Be still my heart. Wow, 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 wow. How was your time in Vegas? We'll have to talk about that sometime. Okay, so Well, I see. I have to. It never fails. Here, I'm talking about being obese and overweight and stuff, and then a hot chick comes on the line. So there you go. That's telling me that the universe does not want me talking about that because they want me to talk about the hot chicks. There you go. That's what's going on. But yeah. So hey, you're welcome, babes. By the way, all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day tomorrow. Um, as most of you know, I am not in that position to be wished a happy Father's Day. And since my father passed a few years ago, I am no longer in a position to um, wish him a happy Father's Day in person. But I will be going to his gravesite to say so tomorrow. So there you go. And I have a brother-in-law who is a tremendous father. He has a great family, two fantastic sons. You know, which one who is which one whom is what one with which is whom a father is that right? One which is whom a father himself. I think that's how proper English. And so happy Father's Day to him as well. So there you go. All the fathers that are related to me. Happy Father's Day. And I don't know if they celebrate Father's Day in Italy or not. Italy. Don't know if they do that because I have a lot of all my cousins in Italy. They're all fathers. So there you go. Okay. So I bought a paddle boat. You know, the paddle boats like you see at amusement parks where you're sitting there, two people are sitting there and you're paddling with your feet, and there's a little paddle underneath the boat, basically, and it moves the boat, and you have a little steering mechanism right between you guys. Well, I bought one of those for my little pond that I have out here. And because I got tired of getting a rowboat out there because the rowboat, well, is just way too big. It was bulky. It was not stable when I needed to carry my fountain in the middle of there. So I needed something. Lana, I'd call you on my phone, but I'm watching you on my phone. I don't know how this works. I thought you got a computer. I thought you told me you got this fancy dancy computer. What the heck? There you go. So I got this paddle boat, and it works fine. And I'm going out to my pond because my pond is small. Maybe it's a 2-acre pond, something like that. I mean, it's bigger than most ponds, but it's thin and narrow. I call you on my phone, but I'm watching on my phone. I don't know how this you did get a computer. Well, watch on your computer and call me on your phone, or watch on your phone and call me with the computer. It's just that simple, Anna. You can do it like that. So the paddle boat works just fine, but because of all the moss I have in the pond, which is one of the reasons I'm working trying to get rid of the moss, which is a feat in itself. And the reason I have a lot of moss in the pond is I am surrounded by farmland, and over the years, all the farmlands put the fertilizer and stuff in the pond and in their fields, and the runoff washes into my pond, which is fine. I don't mind it. That's how ponds get started. But over the years, the 4 and 5 foot depth of the pond went up to 2 and 3 foot depth of the pond because all of the what they call silt runs into it. Now there are there are deeper parts of the pond, and I'm not gonna. Those parts don't get as much moss in them, but the other parts do. So I'm trying to treat it, but for whatever reason, it's not working. And now, in the past, when I did hook up a little trolling motor to the rowboat that I had, and I guess when I put the chemicals in there to treat the crap, it worked better, and the motor or the trolling motor mixed up everything better, and it got rid of a lot of it. So that's the only thing I can figure the difference is, because I've tried everything with this particular chemical, and the chemical works wonders if it's done right. Now, somebody told me the other day I wasn't using enough of it, so I'm at the point now where I'll throw bag after bag after bag of the stuff in there to clear the moss. If it kills all the fish, so be it. I will restock the pond. I would prefer to have a pond with no fish and it looked nice versus a fully stocked pond with that doesn't look nice. That's just me being vain. Sorry for you animal lovers out there. Sorry for your environmentalists, but that's the fact, Jack. All right, it's my pond. Want to do something about it? You get the moss out of the pond. If not, mind your own effing business. Okay. All right. Okay. All of a sudden, it says I can't post comments to some destinations. Why is that? Okay. StreamYard profile. I can't post LinkedIn. Yeah. Twitter. Okay. All right. Hold on a second, folks. I was just told TikTok live. Why can't I post? Well, I guess if I go to Facebook. Okay. Yeah, I knew that. Okay. All right. I was thinking something completely different. I thought I just got this. No. Okay. The way StreamYard works, which is to me so far, StreamYard has been a fantastic program, a website, mechanism, studio, if you will. The platform, that's the word I'm looking for, platform. StreamYard is the platform which I conduct all my lives and all my interviews with on this platform. And from this one major platform, how it works, I can project this out to different places. Now, the pricing plan that I'm on allows me to do it to 3 different places at the same time. Now, I have a whole bunch of other places I can go to, but I do it at 3 different places at once. Right now, again, Facebook, like I said earlier, YouTube, and Twitch. And for whatever reason, still, StreamYard and Facebook don't like to play well together, which still baffles me on this one. But I don't know all the inner workings of how it all works. But if I work for StreamYard, I would figure out how to get this done with Facebook and why they can't play together right. But if I post something on the platform I'm on, because I can type something in the comment section and it can go out to all the platforms that I'm doing this on, that I'm projecting this live stream, except Facebook. And then what I got to do, I got to go to Facebook itself, the page, and post a question there. It's really silly how it does it. But there's also a new setting on here, if I can find it, which, here we go. Comments take the stage. Live comments from viewers will still appear on screen or in the screen. Okay. So if I do this, okay. Testing. Okay, down here, these are comments. See if I can make this bigger. Yeah, see, when I type something and see it down here in the comments, I don't know if I like that or not. All the comments come at the bottom and it's hard to see the comments, right? So I don't know if I like that or not. All right, so I'm going to take that off. It's still in beta testing right now, and I don't like it. I much prefer the comments to be up here or not start down there, more start in the middle-ish. If you, I wonder, or can I change that? Is this in beta version? General overlay, let's just play live comments on your screen. Please note that some platforms like Twitch may have specific. Okay. Okay, hold on a second, Lana. Let me. Here we go, folks. This is how I take a live phone call here. Yes, hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. There's a delay. I can't take a live phone call while I'm talking live on air because there's a delay. You'll get mixed up. Okay. I will display another phone number on the system here in a second so you can call that number. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. Something I have not yet done. See if I can figure out how to do this. Okay, so wait a second here. So if I do this one, no. Me on right side. Okay, I got that one. Okay. Okay, So hold on, folks. This is going to be quite interesting. This is the first time ever I'm doing it like this. So we'll see how it actually works. Okay, Lana. Let me come here. I will text you a phone number to call. All right. Hold on a second here. All right, here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? All right. All right. Okay, here. All right. Let's see. 765 505 7348. Okay. Call that number. And then we will see if this is going to work or not. This is the first. In theory, this should work. If you call that number, in theory, it should work, but we'll see. Okay. First, in theory, this should work. Okay. If you call that number, in theory, it should work, but we'll see. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. I guess you cannot hear me. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Hold on, Lana. Hold on, Lana. I know what's going on here.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I can't hear you on my phone. I think it's still not going to work.
No, it is. It is. Hold on. Hold on a second. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Now, can you hear me? Now, can you hear me?
Hello. I can't hear you on my phone. I think it's still not going to work.
No, it is. It is. Hold on a second. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you on my phone now.
Okay, there we go. All right. So you're going to have to turn down the what you're watching me on because there is a delay.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay. Now, can you hear me still?
I can just hear you talking to me.
Yes, that's what you're supposed to hear. That's how telephones work.
Yes, but I can't hear anything on watching you on your show. It's delayed.
Yeah, hold on a second here.
That's how telephones work.
Okay. Okay, yes. All right. So guess what? You are live on air with me now, Lana.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
For everyone out there watching, listening, doing what you want to, Lana is a good friend of mine. We are internet friends, and no, we have not yet met live, but I hope to change that soon. And she lives in, I just say the state, she lives in Texas. And I'm not going to get more specific than that because that's all you need to know. Right?
South Texas, and it's hot.
South Texas, she says it's hot. So what do you, okay, what is hot to you down in South Texas?
Oh, well, it's just, it wasn't too bad today. I was outside actually doing yard work all day. It gets 85 and it's hot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's real humid.
I'm a former Florida resident, so I know you just step out and it's 85, 90, 95, and you basically just look like you jumped out of a shower. It's so humid. I would assume that's how it is where you are as well.
Yep.
Okay. Now, were you in Vegas this week?
No, I posted. That was when I did a JCK jewelry store or jewelry event in Vegas. We did a week-long event, and it was
because you posted
fabulous.
something. Yeah.
Reminiscing.
I thought you were in Vegas, and it's like, holy moly, she went to Vegas. That's cool. Yeah. So
that was work. My girlfriend I used to work with in the jewelry business, and we went there, and it was fun.
Good. Yeah, a couple of times I've been to Vegas, been there twice, and absolutely loved it both times. Absolutely loved it. And now it's been
the shows and stuff are great.
Oh yeah. First time we went and saw a show called the Amazing Jonathan. I went with a buddy of mine, Amazing Jonathan, and he was a riot. I think he's passed away. But man, you talk about a funny ass show, kind of raunchy, kind of magician-y, comedy, raunchy type thing. But oh my God, was it hysterical. Loved Amazing Jonathan.
Well, I think everybody that goes to Vegas enjoys it for sure. There's always, especially if they go to shows or everybody always has to go to Vegas and experience it. Yeah.
At the time we went, first time I stayed at the Flamingo, which I don't even know if it's still around or not, the Flamingo. Second time was New York. But the first time, one of the casinos we kept going to, because we had a game plan where if we play blackjack, and when one of us was up $50 or down $50, we'd quit playing and go to another casino, which was dumb, especially if he's on a hot streak. But it was give us a chance to go someplace else and do different things. So we always ended up going to a place called the what was that hotel called? Now I can't remember. They since tore it down. It was a little hole in the wall, almost like in a corner somewhere. I'll think of it before the night's over. And in the lounge act was great. There's a guy called Fat Elvis doing lounge shows. He must have been every bit of 400 pounds. Big old guy, dressed up as Elvis, doing Elvis shows, and he was fantastic. He was great. And these lounge shows were free. I don't know if they still are or not. It's been 25, 23, 24 years since I've been there. So and I'm sure it's changed.
Smaller hotels do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Attraction for sure.
Oh, yeah. And Barbary Coast. That was it. It was called the Barbary Coast. And I think
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's been torn down. It was just down the road from the Flamingo, same side of the street, and it's been torn down. And something else has been put up there, I guess. But and from what I've understand from other folks, Las Vegas has completely changed in the last 20 years. I mean, the things you could have got for dirt cheap are now extremely expensive. Yeah. So
yeah, it has changed a lot. I've been there in the last couple of years. And I need to go back because that's basically where our office is, where I work, our headquarters. So I need to get over there one day.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
So is the place you're working? And I don't know if I'm not going to mention any names. I don't know if you want it out there or not. But I thought it was based in. Why did I think it was based in Houston? I don't know why I thought it was based in Houston. But did you say it's based in Vegas?
Yeah, our company, our main company, you might be thinking of that one thing that we were doing. But that's not through our company.
I'm talking about the company we work for that begins with the letter C.
Yeah, that one. That's Certainty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's in Vegas.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's in Henderson, I should say.
Henderson. The only Henderson I know is Henderson, Kentucky.
It's right near Vegas. People usually live, like right around Vegas. And
okay.
It's just a little community. It's a community, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Henderson, Kentucky isn't near Vegas, so it must be Henderson, Henderson, Nevada.
Nevada. Right.
There it is.
So earlier you were talking about doing the push-ups and all that. I was cooking my dogs food because they're princesses and I cook their food.
Yeah.
I was cooking myself ground turkey.
Okay.
With a big old thing of butter on it because I went carnivore.
Yeah.
By the way, solved a big problem I had for 2 years.
Which was?
I had
which
gallbladder. I've always been very healthy all my life and most of my life, and I started having these. I thought it was a scar tissue from my lung surgery. Well, after about a year, I'm like, I don't think it's scar tissue because when I eat, when I was going out to eat, I would just sit there and I'd have to, I could feel the inflammation and I'd have to lean back. I'm like, I got to go home. Well, and it got to where it was really bad. And I thought, this isn't scar tissue. So, I'm one of those that want to self-diagnose because I don't want to, me. So, yeah, I started thinking of it differently. And I said, I don't like radical diets, but sometimes radical helps. So I said, I've always eaten meat. I mean, I came from a cattle ranch. So I went ahead and went carnivore, all kinds of ground meat like turkey, ground beef. I make a whole pan full of chicken thighs, butter, eggs. I mean, I love it because it makes my life simpler for one thing, definitely easier. And within 24 hours, it quit hurting. And I haven't had problems since I started a few months ago.
Okay, wait. So, let's stop right there for a second. Okay. You say within 24 hours it started hurting. So for instance,
it quit hurting. It quit hurting. It's hurt for 2 years. I've had pain for 2 years.
And within 24 hours of just eating meat, it went away?
because I quit eating everything else. And so when my food went through what I did was I did a 24-hour fast.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
I start
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
I start everything with a fast. Anybody talks to me and asks me for help, whether it's cancer, whether it's skin problems, whether it's joint problems, I'm like, okay, the first thing we're going to do is water fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for how long? I'm like, well, 72 hours would be the best. I can't go 8 hours without eating. I'm like, oh dear, we need a fast. Okay. So I always start everything with a fast. So it gives your body a break to not have to deal with outside things, right? So you know that. I think you're doing fast yourself, right?
I do 24 hours once a week. Right. The last 2 weeks I haven't done it. Things happen that I haven't told you about, but things happen. So we'll talk off air sometime about it.
Yeah, but for anybody that, they're amazing. They do help your body. So I started with a 24-hour fast. I'm ready to do a 10-day fast, a water fast. And I always add fulvic minerals to my water, or at least, Celtic salt or something to get the minerals, because I just don't think we need to be without minerals. That's part of our problem.
Okay.
And then I just went into, I eat like 2 or 3 eggs in the morning, and I eat all kinds of meat.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. Meat,
okay, wait. So if you're eating eggs, so you're not full carnivore then? Because I didn't think eggs were carnivore.
Yeah, I know. But on some of the carnivore diets that people do, I mean, I just had followed some people, and I'm like, eggs have so many vitamins and nutrients in them.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that. So, all right. Because this whole carnivore thing fascinates me, and I haven't dove into it enough to quite understand it. So let me ask you a few questions, if you don't mind answering.
I'd love to.
Okay. So when you say carnivore, obviously it's meat. Do you eat any kind of salad?
Nope. The only thing on my list is eggs, butter, real butter, salt, and I use a good salt.
What's it called? Himalayan salt?
People do like to use that. I have some. I have Celtic. I have Himalayan, as long as it's a really good salt, not a table salt. Our bodies need it.
Okay.
Steak, ground beef. I do organic as 90% of the time, as much as I can. At least no antibiotics. Chicken thighs, fish, actually, too. I haven't had a lot of fish, but I've gone out to a restaurant that I trust.
Okay.
And I've had salmon. I noticed that a lot of them, and eggs and butter, and that's what I eat. And that's all I eat. I found that going to a restaurant, they don't use healthy oils when they're cooking their food, even if it's an Italian restaurant or whatever. And for the most part, they don't. I know my girlfriend has an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
And I see the oils they use. They're not healthy oils. So I had to completely restrict myself from going out to eat. There's only one restaurant I can eat at. It's called Ginger Cafe, and it's Mediterranean, but they use olive oil.
Okay.
So that hasn't affected me. But that's what I eat. Yeah. And another thing, a really good tip is, there's 2 companies I like, and one's called Ancestral and the other one's called Lenvero. And all you do is type in beef liver or organ meat, organ or whatever.
Okay.
Beef liver, just type that in and they'll pop up. Well, beef liver has a lot of, B vitamins and good vitamins. I like liver and onions, but I'm not going to make it all the time.
Okay.
So I take those daily. And I'm ordering the organ meat from the same company, and I'm going to take that daily. So I'm getting proper nutrition and good nutrition.
Okay.
I'm getting all the vitamins and minerals I need. So, yeah. And so the eggs help that. The beef liver helps that. There's a lot of good nutrition in beef and all that. I eat lamb,
Okay.
I just don't eat the vegetables and stuff.
See,
it's helped me a lot. Every once in a while, I have a sweet potato. Not very often.
See, this fascinates me.
Not very often.
And
yeah.
And here's
my
why
gallbladder's happy.
Here's why it fascinates me, because I have I've interviewed somebody, and I'll mention his name. This is Dan McDonald. It goes by Dan the Man, the Life Regenerator McDonald, and he is a raw food expert, so to speak. His life is based around raw food, juicing, things of that sort. Does not eat any kind of meat. I don't want to say he's vegetarian or vegan. He just eats raw food. Nothing cooked above whatever temperature it is. I don't remember. I mean, I've interviewed him. It was 15 years ago, and I still follow him. And I should reach out to him again, because I would almost guarantee it'd be on a show with me. It'd be fun. And he is. I don't want to say he's one of the healthiest people I know, because I never physically met the man other than watching him and interviewing him. And then I meet people like you, and you are the second or maybe third person I've talked to who is going strictly carnivore. And they're saying the same thing. You say the same things as this other gentleman. He says that at first, the first couple of days for him, at least, he had, what's it called when your feet hurt all the time? What's it called? What's the word I'm looking for?
Gout?
What?
Gout?
Gout. Yeah. He had gout. And he said he had gout in a major way. And just one day he said, "Screw it! I'm getting sick of trying to figure all this out. I'm going to go carnivore." So he said he went to the store, bought a couple of steaks for himself, and from that day on, he's eating nothing but meat. That's it. No anything else but meat. Within a couple of days, he said the gout got really bad, but then the next morning he woke up and it was completely gone. And he hasn't had it since. And he was carnivore for like a year and a half. And he's lost 200 pounds. He looks fantastic. I mean, he looks fit as a fiddle. And he says he feels 100,000%. He feels wonderful doing it. Dan McDonald says the same thing by going full raw for himself. He says the same thing.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of different theories and what makes people feel better, and everybody's different. And I think the raw, there's so many enzymes. So I think a lot of people miss the enzyme thing, because like I don't take a product so much as I don't take it as much as I should, but digestive enzymes. I think there's one called Wobazyme. They're not real cheap, but digestive enzymes help you, because once we cook our food to a certain point, it kind of kills the enzymes.
Okay.
So people that do raw tend to get more enzymes.
Okay.
So, eat your food, but take digestive enzymes, a good one. That helps a lot. Definitely. Those restaurants where they cook all the Brazilian ones where they have all the meat they slice off and bring to your table.
Yeah. I've never been to one, but I've heard all about them. Yeah. I want to go to one.
And then they serve you. Yeah. The last one I went to was in Vegas. My group that I was with, we all walked over there, and we all got stuffed, and they started serving grilled pineapple. And so pineapple is bromelain, right? It's a digestive enzyme. So they do that to help your body digest. So digestive enzymes are huge, and people don't realize there's nothing worse than feeling bloated and so full you can't hardly even move if you eat too much. So digestive enzymes, and we tend to, as humans, we tend to eat way more than we need. Mix it up too much, like dessert after every meal. I don't do that. I'm not strict to the point where, like, my sister had to go carnivore, which is why I decided to go carnivore, because she got really sick, and they say she has lupus and some type of arthritis, which she's my baby sister, so it hurts me. And she's miserable, like in bed, like crying, and that's not her. But she went carnivore, and it helped her a lot.
Good.
So she still has days that are worse and days that are better, but it definitely helps her get out of bed. So, she doesn't listen to me, so I can't really.
Sisters have but most sisters don't do that.
Yeah. So it helped her, but I thought, since my sister has to do that, I'm going to do it, and it might help me. So I did it, and I'm telling you, it was 24 hours. I just felt better. My gallbladder has not been inflamed or hurting me or bothering me since I started it. So anybody that would need that information, it definitely helps. I followed a carnivore doctor. He was a muscle guy, like you, working out all the time and thick with muscles. but he ate a lot of meat. And I read comments. I always read comments. That's where you learn everything.
Right.
And I used to read these comments for years and years. And these people, and I tend to listen to women's comments because I'm a woman and we have different things. So many of them said, yes, I had so many issues, so many this and that, and carnivore solved them all. I read that time and time again, that they had an issue and carnivore solved it. So for years I followed this guy, and I also followed that other guy. What's his name? Okay, and he looked kind of thin and kind of shallow face, because he was a vegetarian. He
right.
only ate vegetables. So they definitely had a different look. The one guy that ate vegetables mostly was very, very thin. The other guy, the carnivore, he did work out a lot, so he built a lot of muscles, but he just looked healthier. And I'm not against being a vegetarian. And I'm going to say that what I've learned is some people don't do well with certain vegetables because I guess this oxalate thing, I don't know. I don't have those kind of issues, but that I know of.
Okay.
But I like vegetables. I like fruit. But I decided to do carnivore because my sister had to, and I'm sticking with it for quite a while because every once in a while I have a sweet potato. Every once in a while I have something else. But in general, I stay carnivore and eggs. Carnivore plus eggs, okay?
Okay.
And fish is allowed as well. So basically, you're just cutting out all the vegetables. You're cutting out all the grains, anything but that. Like you're not going to have, if somebody goes carnivore to get well, it's and that's why they lose weight. That's why they feel better because their body only has to process certain things. It doesn't have to process all the grains and all the possible glyphosate and all the chemicals on the plant, the plants and vegetables, right? So your body gets a break. And so far, so good.
And how long have you been doing it?
I've lost a little weight.
How long have you been on it?
I would say I'm starting my third month.
Wow. So you just mentioned weight. You said you lost a little weight, and I know it's none of my business one way or the other.
Scale, so I don't know.
Okay, but your clothes are fitting different, correct?
Yeah, my clothes are fitting different. My mom made a comment, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. She said, "You've lost weight." I said, "Oh, I can kind of tell."
Good.
She goes, "Yeah, you look like you've lost weight."
Good.
Because over the last 3 years, I've gained weight. I turned 60 the other day. So I'm old. But, once women,
you
and
don't
our
look
hormones
60.
and the different, thank you.
And
I'll take that.
I tell you, for a 60-year-old broad, you look a lot better. You look better than a lot of 25-year-olds I see out there. That's for certain.
Thank you. I contribute that to being very careful what I eat and I don't drink alcohol, and nothing wrong with it. I have my own thing about alcohol, but I just don't because
I will. I'll drink it for you. Here we go. All right, go.
Okay. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't have one with you. I'm saying I don't regularly drink. I would have one with you because it's you. I would have one with you. Special occasions.
That's right.
I just don't. I used to have a glass of wine here and there, a few times a week, and I just don't do that anymore. So that when I do want to have a nice glass of wine, it's not a big deal for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's so interesting. All right, hold on a second here. Okay, I'll go back that one. All right, so I don't know if I can do or go without vegetables. That's just it. I love my vegetables.
I didn't think I could.
Especially now that I got a garden going. I got tomatoes. I got tomatoes, peppers, zucchini, and beans going in my garden. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so
you're gonna have to have a little farmer's market out front and sell it all.
Yeah, I don't have that many.
To buy your meat.
Exactly. Yes, I'm gonna have to do that. So when you go shop, okay. Speaking of that, let me ask you this: when you go shopping, do you shop on a daily basis, or you shop once a week, or how often do you shop, and what do you?
No, that's funny. I can tell you one thing. When I go shopping, I I turn right and I go right to the vegetables. I get all my vegetables, probably $60 worth of vegetables, all my avocados for the week, all my stuff for the week, sweet potatoes, onion, whatever. And then I move on to the next section, right? So the first time I went, I walked into the same place that I always do, and I turned right and I went, oh no. I went directly back to the meat counter, got all my meat. And then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Water. Okay, I can get water. Got water. And I'm like, okay, eggs. Okay, I can get eggs. And then I'm looking around going, oh, that was easy. That's why I went to the counter and I'm like, well, that was easy. Like, it didn't take me an hour to shop. And it was kind of pleasant, for sure.
Are you finding it more or less expensive?
Probably. Well, haven't checked. I haven't really.
Okay.
I would say it's probably for me. It's cheaper because, like, I love ground turkey, a good ground turkey, right?
Okay.
That's what I was eating tonight. That's what I cooked tonight for me and the dogs. I added some to their
and
food.
the dog. She has a couple of rat dogs, folks.
Off their food off.
A couple little rat dogs. Summertime and what's the other one?
Kona time. Kona
time. Summertime and Kona time.
Yeah.
Or is it summertime? Yeah. Okay. So all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I'm thinking that it's probably not costing me as much.
Wow.
I don't buy a lot of steaks. Because I love ground meat. Like, so I get turkey, I get ground beef, and I get chicken thighs with the fat on. And I cook a roast. Like, I just put it in a crock pot with water and salt. And I add butter to whatever I want to because you got to have fat. So I add butter. And some carnivores, I think most carnivores do use butter. No, they use lard or tallow and all that. But I have butter, and I use real butter, Kerrygold butter, and I just enjoy it. A bowl, instead of a bowl of ice cream or bowl of cereal, it's like a bowl of ground turkey. It's so good.
So is that what you have for like lunch and dinner? Just a bowl of ground meat of some sort?
Yeah, or chicken, chicken thighs, or
what about like chicken wings?
Roast.
The chicken wings?
I don't. There's not enough meat on those for me to buy them. Like, I buy chicken drums.
Okay, so what about like frozen chicken breasts? Do you buy anything frozen, or is everything non-frozen?
I generally just buy for the week. So I'll buy a big old pack of thighs, and I come home and cook them in a big cake pan with water, and I cover it so that it cooks, and salt and butter, or not butter, salt and water. And then I let them cool, put them in the refrigerator. And then I generally, after about 2 days, I'll make a ground meat. So then I just kind of switch it up. And I don't eat 3 meals a day. I should. I need to, but I generally eat eggs in the morning. So I've learned to eat breakfast because what I have learned is over the many years of working, I've learned that I never ate until at least noon, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because of my work. And when I had time, I ate. So I learned not to eat. And so I'm in a bad habit of that. So what I have learned is that I need more protein. So now I'm adding, that's what I do. I eat eggs in the morning. And I eat 2 eggs in the morning. And yeah. And then, and whatever, generally I try to not eat twice after that. And it's not for any reason other than I don't get that hungry. And so what I'll do is eat a really late lunch and early dinner. I just eat it at once.
Okay, wait. All right, hold on a second. Let's back up. So you eat a late lunch and an early dinner at the same time. So in your mind, you're eating 2 meals, but you're only having it once.
Right. Yeah, that's how I roll.
Only you can think of it that way. Only you can think of it that way.
Right.
A late
But it's
lunch
good.
and an early dinner, but you have them at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, um, I think you and I had this conversation before, but you're not a calorie counter, are you?
A calorie counter?
Yeah.
No. I've never counted a calorie in my life. I don't. It's too much work for me. I don't care. I was raised on a cattle ranch, so I knew that we just ate. We ate our food, and
Okay.
dessert was a treat. So it wasn't no big deal, and I never had a weight problem.
Okay. All
and
right.
so I never thought about it. You
Okay.
know. Okay. Yeah.
So I bring that up because when you say you just have this one meal, how do you know how much to prepare? Or and I'm not asking that because I'm like you. I've never counted a calorie in my life. I couldn't tell you how to do calorie counting. I have no idea.
No
So,
fun, right? That can't possibly be fun.
oh no, it would drive me nuts. And I've said this publicly before. It would drive me absolutely nuts to count calories or to do that kind of meal prep.
Right.
Where you have to either weigh out your
No.
food or count the calories and blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, it would drive me nuts. That's just me.
I think what's more important is making sure you get good nutrition. You know, I think people that have to count calories are eating the full foods. Like they're not changing their diet; they just have to eat less, kind of thing. And I don't like that. Like when I have a bowl of ground meat, I have as much as I want. Like sometimes I'm, eat a little more. Sometimes I eat a little less. But it's like a bowl of cereal. I just fill it up with meat. You know, I don't worry about it. I just eat what I want.
A bowl of cereal. I have
It's
enough of
not
the
easy.
meat. I like that. I like that. Okay, so you don't get you say you don't get steak very often. So you just get
only just because I don't want to have to cook it.
Okay, it's understandable.
Right?
So
Life has to be easy
here's
right
what I'm
now.
picturing, and tell me where if I'm on point with this or not. You go to a store and they have the packaged ground meat that's 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds, whatever. It's either 80% lean, 90% lean, whatever you prefer, and it's in a container with foil, not foil, with this clear wrap over it so you can see it. Is that what you get?
Right.
When you ground beef, is that what you get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, our HEB has a pack and it has three 1 pound packs and they're all they're little squares.
Wait,
all tied together.
back up. Wait, what did you say?
Organic.
RHAB, what is that?
Our store is called HEB.
It's called ATB?
The B stands for butt. Yeah, the B stands for butt. It's guys' names. It was a family.
Okay.
It's called HEB. So
HEB.
that's our big
okay.
chain here. And they have organic grass-fed beef, and it comes like that. It's like all tied together, in sections.
Okay.
So that's good for the week.
So where you
like
live,
3 pounds of meat.
So where you live, this is it HBT? Is that what you said it was? The store call was
ATB.
ATB. So that's a chain of grocery stores where you live?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely a Texas thing.
Okay. See, because I was in Florida, Publix was everywhere. Publix and Winn-Dixie, which now Winn-Dixie has gotten bought out by Aldi's. When I was in Cleveland, I used to live in Cleveland area, there was a store called Giant Eagle. They were everywhere. They were a grocery store chain. Around here, there are what's it called? Kirby Foods, which is a few. Kroger, which is a few. We don't have an actual chain, so to speak, like other places where here in Indiana where I live. We have a Sam's Club, and I can also go to Costco and stuff like that. Do you ever go to a Sam's or a Costco?
Sam's. Yeah, we have that.
Do you get your stuff?
So we have that, and our town's not big enough. I mean, we have 300,000+ people, but they won't put a Costco in, which is my favorite. But we have Sam's, and then we have Nature's Grocery, and we have a Sprouts. And so, actually, if I shop at Sprouts, it's 3 times the cost. But I like Sprouts.
Okay.
But it's very expensive. But sometimes I go there.
Isn't Sprouts like like what's that one health restaurant, the health grocery store around the country? It's all over the place. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and ours isn't too big, so sometimes if I don't want to deal with the crowd, because our HEB has kayaks in it, fishing gear in it, furniture, clothes.
Whole Foods. Whole Foods. Yeah, Whole Foods. I'm thinking of
Whole Foods. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
So Sprouts is like a Whole Foods?
Not as Whole Foods tend to be real big.
Yeah.
Our Sprouts is not as big. And don't be fooled by health food stores. Everything in there is not healthy.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's always a big bill when I go in there. So I try to just, I try to keep things simple.
Yeah.
And that's why I eat the way I do. It's just perfect for me. Because I don't have a lot of dishes. I don't have a lot of ingredients to buy. It's so nice. I just love it. But, that's just me. I need it to be simple right now because, like today, I did lawn work all day. But I usually am just working way too many hours because I'm trying to always get caught up. So it's just easy for me to have simple. And some people want to spend more time cooking. And I love cooking. I like cooking. But right now I have to have everything simple. So
you see, it
works out.
I love to cook on the grill. I think every guy on the planet should learn how to cook on the grill. I think it's a rite of passage. Throw some meat on a grill, learn how to cook it.
Right.
And one of the seasonings that I absolutely love, this seasoning on my food, is called Montreal steak seasoning. I put it on everything. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one or not, but I absolutely love that one. So I'm thinking of doing this carnivore, but I like my vegetables too much. I don't. Oh man, see,
I know, right?
Now you're gonna make me mad because now you're on
me?
this.
I said I've made you mad.
You made me mad because I like you so much, and now you're doing this carnivore thing. But then I got to give up my vegetables. Oh man, see, you're making me mad.
Well, I'm sure you can cook your vegetables for somebody else.
Well, you're not close to me. Plus, you wouldn't eat them if you were close to me. I'd cook for you. I would cook for you.
No, I would not right now. I'm gonna have to come that way.
That's right.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see that pond. I want to see on the pond.
You don't want to see it now. It looks horrible. I am embarrassed about the pond. But
oh no.
Yeah, well, I'll get it taken care of. We have somebody coming in to clean out the silt in the pond, and for the last year or so, I've been talking with excavators and stuff of that sort, where they bring in a big old backhoes and they can dig out the pond, because they can, with a big enough backhoe, you can reach across the pond, or at least halfway to it, and then go to the other side, which is what I was going to do, to dig it out that way. But what I didn't want to happen, because if you do that, then you're going to tear up the yard all the way around there, because of the backhoes are going to be pretty big and they're going to dig up the ground, which is part of it. So just by chance, I Googled, pond cleaned out or whatever. I Googled one night, and this company comes up, and I said, this is interesting. I gave him a call. Actually, I gave him an email. I sent him an email. I said, hey, I'd be interested in talking to somebody. And I got an email back within an hour, and the guy says, hey, we're going to be in your area tomorrow. I told him where I lived.
Nice.
And he says, we can come out and look at the pond. I'm like, that's awesome. Come on out. And because my brother-in-law lives next door, and he's going to be part of the process as well, and he knows this stuff. So the guy comes out, and as we're walking out to the pond, he starts walking into the pond. I mean, literally walking into the pond. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I said. I didn't realize he had a wetsuit on, because it looked like regular clothes. And he walks into the middle of the pond. And and he's saying, well, it's right here. I'm sinking down here. You have this much silt, and I could, I can feel what it is. And he's walking to the shallow end. It's getting, and as he's coming up, he's like the creature from the Black Lagoon. He has moss hanging off of him and everything else. I wish I would have took a video of him, because it freaked me out so bad. And what the process is I call it a giant vacuum cleaner, and it sucks up everything from the bottom, all the loose dirt, all the silt up from the bottom. It's a big, powerful vacuum cleaner.
What about the fish and the whatever you have in there?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of fish, and I have a lot of turtles. Hopefully I can get rid of all the turtles. I don't want any turtles in my pond. But he said that it won't affect the fish because they're not going to get sucked up in it. I mean, maybe a couple of here and there, but usually they won't because they'll swim away as I'm walking into them, walking to them. So, but will there be fish getting sucked up? Because of course there will be. Yeah, there always will be when you're doing something like that. And they can bring the silt or the mud or the gook or whatever you want to call it up to 1,000 feet away, which is perfect, which is what I want. And what I'm planning on doing is when he's sucking all this dirt out of there, but the silt is basically dirt, is I'm going to make a big mound. I'm going to have to make a big mound of it. And so I'm going to go around the property with my tractor after it dries out and fill up a lot of the low spots and the property. So it's going to help out. But he said, according to the guy, because he's the expert, he was walking out in it. He says, I could probably lower this a good 2, maybe 3 feet, which is what would be ideal, which is what I need. So, and the good thing about it does not hurt the grass and the lawn all around the pond, which is a good thing.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, this is what I want.
Well, that was probably a shock when he just walked right into there.
Oh, my God.
Serious about his business, right?
I was like, what in the hell is this guy doing? And he just literally walks up there and he's at the deeper end where it comes up to his chest. Well, not the deeper end, but in the middle of it comes up to his chest, which is shallow. It should be he should be submerged because it should have been 6-7 feet where he was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
just in there now.
Yeah. I mean, after 30 years, it's the stuff's going to come in there.
Right.
So the deeper the pond
is going to happen.
The deeper a pond is, the less likely it is to have the moss on there because the moss grows more shallow because it needs the light to the sunlight to grow. Right. And if it's deeper, the sunlight won't penetrate to the bottom. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. So when are you going to have the guy come out?
End of June, 1st of July-ish, something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you going to videotape some of that?
Oh, absolutely. I will be. Oh, absolutely. If he allows it. I mean, I want to do it for myself because I want to see it, but I'm not going to assume I can do it without his acknowledgement. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Good enough.
Yeah.
If it's good enough, he can use it for his advertising on Facebook.
Well, right now I have 5 other pond owners that want to see this because they've never heard of this before. So they're going to be over here. Now, I asked, this is what pissed me off. First thing that pissed me off. What?
It's going to be a party.
Yeah, it's going to be a party, absolutely. Because I asked him, what do we need to bring to prepare? He said, just get lawn chairs and a case of beer. If you want to watch, I'm like, sounds good to me. So a lot of my buddies who have ponds are coming out to see it as well. So yes, we will have a party. Nice. So I asked the guy, and this is the one thing that's pissing me off about him, is I said, okay, if you get business from these guys that are coming out to watch you because I'm advertising for you, do I get any kind of, lack of a better term, kickback or referral fee or something like that? You and I understand that we're in that business. We understand this referral fee. Right. Yeah. He says, no, why would I want to do that? Like, wait a second. Because first of all, it's free advertising for you. That's why.
Well, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, help out your neighbor business, I guess.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, here's something. And
he can at least give you a shirt, right?
Yeah, give me something. Exactly. So and you and I have talked about this, and this is something that always bugs me. And if I have some of my friends in the dance world listening right now, you'll get pissed off when I say this, especially you instructors. I've gone all over parts of the country, different parts of the country, Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Florida, the main ones I hung out with when I was in my dance phase, the ballroom and swing. And so I talk to dance instructors all the time. I say, listen, if I could get you a group of folks who are interested in your product, in other words, interested in dancing, would you be able, or would you be willing to do a 1-hour free workshop to show them what to do and different moves and everything else? And they all say, well, why would I want to do a free workshop? I want to get paid for my time. I said, I get it. But the business is you do one-on-one after that. You have anywhere from 20 to 50 sets of eyeballs looking at you, interested in your product. And they just can't understand that concept. Now, I brought that same concept to people who were in the sales industry, anywhere from selling copiers to selling alcohol or what have you. And I tell them the same thing. I said, if I can give you a 20 to 50 pair of eyeballs for 1 hour, 20 to 50 set of eyeballs for you to demonstrate your product to them who are interested in your product, would you do it for free for an hour? And they said, absolutely. Are you kidding me? That'd be the greatest thing I could ever hope for. And so the dancers, they just don't get it. They don't get it. I don't understand that mentality. Yeah.
That's a great idea. And one of my friends, two of them, Billy, he manufactures body armor, like you can hold up the shield, and it's a back thing. It goes on your car seat. It's behind your back. It has a little head thing that with elastic, it sticks over the back of the headrest. But it's Velcroed on. And so if somebody, how many cops get shot in their cars and people, so you can actually just reach behind you, across your body, grab it and put it in front of the window. And so they sell those, and he manufactures them here. He's all over TikTok and all of that. And Instagram.
Wow.
And then my other buddy, they're Marines. They serve together. So my friend is Faisal. I knew him from a business years ago in California that he headhunted me and found me, and I worked for them for a while. Well, anyway, we stayed friends. He grew up in London, so he's got 2 citizenships. But anyway, so he's doing it too. He's marketing it. So I was talking to him, how is that working for you? He said, what I do is I go to the police department as well, and we're like, I want to give you this gift. It's for free. Here you go. They weigh 4 pounds, and they're big. They fit your seat. They cover your seat, and it's a nice shield. And 4 pounds. They're not that heavy.
Wow.
And they give them one to play with and to shoot, so they can see how great they are. They make curtains. Everything's custom. If you want a certain, like the Marines, they have their badge on there. They sew them on for them or put them on there. They make curtains for churches and houses and buildings, and you can use those bulletproof curtains. And he makes them out of whatever kind of material you want. And he's got this big manufacturing place. He's doing them here. Well, yeah, they give one away so that these police departments and different departments can play with it and mess with it and see it. And then they make orders. So I agree with you. Give something away, or, let people see, and then you get orders. You get people want your business.
Wow.
So it's a great concept. Absolutely. You're smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, little change of subject here, if you're willing. If you're not, because I know you called in for the health thing. I want to get, because you mentioned the Marines, military, the Army today, 250 years. Happy birthday, Army folks! I have a good friend.
Happy birthday, Army! Yeah.
One of my best friends, my buddy Kenny, who's my NASCAR guy. We do a couple of shows a year for NASCAR. He is Army, retired Army. Served 3 tours of Iraq, 1 tour of Afghanistan in the early 2000s. Yes, he has given quite a bit to the Army. His son is now up and coming Army guy. He was at the parade today. His son was holding the flag for one of the battalions or groups or whatever. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
I do not know which one.
One of my cousins is in that parade in the Army. Yeah.
So I'm watching that, and I'm just beaming with pride watching that. And I thought it was great.
Right.
And then I'm watching, a little plug here. I watch Steven Crowder on Rumble. If you don't know, he's a talk show guy over there. And so he has several other folks on his show. And one guy is an Army guy, a retired Army. He was actually a Ranger. And so he's talking about that. And they also had CNN going on in the background, because I was making fun of CNN because it's stupid things CNN was saying. And the guy was saying, the Army guy, the retired Army guy was saying, not a single Army person who walked in that parade, who marched in that parade today, done so, or he was forced to do so. He says, I will promise you, I will guarantee everyone who was in that parade, marching in that parade, wanted to be there. That was a sense of pride. And the Army's not going to send the goofballs out there. They're going to send the best of the best. And the best of the best would want to be in that. They want to show off what they have. He says in each platoon, battalion, group, and I don't know the proper terminology, forgive me for not knowing that, they want to outdo the other ones. So of course they're going to send the best of the best. Every single one of those guys wanted to be there. And it was just fantastic. And now on the other side of the spectrum, you had these idiots doing the no king riots. Yes, I called them riots. So get over it. The no king riots. So first of all, understand this, folks. Who's ever watching this, I'm going to piss somebody off with this one. This is United States of America. We do not have kings. Every 4 years, we elect a new president. You don't like it?
Yep.
Elect somebody different. Okay?
Or wait, it'll change eventually. Yeah.
We elected who we wanted to elect. This is tough this time. You don't like it? Kiss my ass. Simple as that. Sorry. You don't like it? Kiss my ass.
Yeah, just wait a few years and it'll change. But I agree with you. There's no kings. This is not the UK.
And this is coming from a group of people who threw Kamala, whatever her name is, Vice President Harris in there. She didn't get elected. She never got one vote, never got anything, but all of a sudden they threw her into to run. So you tell me, who's wanting to force somebody into an office?
Right.
That side. So I know you sometimes post something political, and you have a political friend who is opposite of you.
Yes, not anymore. I blocked.
Oh, okay, good.
I don't have time for the negativity. It got too ugly, and I'm like, I couldn't just shut up. I had to say something. So
well, good for
I
you.
block it because I just don't need the negativity. Yeah.
Good for you.
Horrible. Horrible.
Oh, man.
I only have I don't. I just don't see the nastiness as much on one side as I do the other. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think people just can't accept that maybe they're wrong, and it's really just hurts their feelings, and they get so defensive. And I think that if they could just chill and say, listen, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay. It's all going to be okay. Because if you remember, we've put up with what for the last 4 years? Like,
absolutely.
We didn't. Yeah, you get through it. I mean, the United States might not get through some of that stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, we all get through it, and hopefully things are going to change for the better all the time. And
mm-hmm.
They're proven wrong, and I don't want to prove anybody wrong, but maybe they'll see that it's really not that bad.
And here's what I want to stress to the folks who are listening or will listen or whatever, who don't agree with my side. Yes, I am a MAGA guy, 45, 47. Yes, I'm a MAGA guy. You don't agree with him? Great. Fantastic. I didn't agree with everything that President Biden said. And yes, I said President Biden because I'm a huge fan of the term president. If somebody's elected, whether you like the person or not like the person, voted for him, didn't vote for him,
right.
They are still the president.
Amen.
I refer to him as President Biden. I refer to him as President Clinton and President Obama.
Yeah.
So I would, and I can't stand it when people call him Mr. Biden or Mr. Obama. I can't stand that. No, it's president. Again, I don't care for him. But if you don't agree with him, that's fine. We're not. No one's asking you to agree with him. All we're asking is to be respectful of him. And if you're going to have protests, great, fantastic. Knock your socks off. Do it peacefully. But when you start throwing rocks and bricks and stuff like that at the police force or the military or ICE or anybody, guess what? You're an ass. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I'm all for them.
Like these other countries. Yeah.
I'm all for them beating your ass to the ground and kicking you to the curb. You know what? Hey, you getting in front of you blocking somebody from going to work, blocking the street or blocking the highway. I hope you get your ass ran over. Simple as that.
God. Well, they agreed that if that who was it? That governor, he got on and said, you have a right. If they're attacking your car, you take off, and if they get hit, it's not your problem.
That's right.
He said it's okay to do that, and I'm sure that's state to state, but he's right. It's like, if you feel threatened, you should be able to just plow through. Those people shouldn't be doing that to your car. I know we had a big protest here today with that whole no king thing, which I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't go downtown. I saw it on Facebook, and I'm like, they need a hobby. Like, I wouldn't spend my Saturday, but what's the point? Like, it really is silly, I think. I mean, protesting can be okay at times if you do it peacefully, but in general, it's like, you're protesting no kings. Like,
it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, even though I'm a Trump fan, I don't see him being a king.
No, of
I
course
do
not.
see that he does have an attitude, but look, he kind of earned it.
Yeah.
Like, he gets stuff done, or he tries, and he does get a lot of stuff done. And, he goes over into the Middle East and does stuff, and he gets a lot of respect from those people because,
Absolutely.
because they respect him. They want to see a strong country. They want to work with good leaders. And I think we have one.
Yep.
And I don't want to, get political here like we are, but
I will.
Other countries are watching us all the time. Other countries are watching us, and it's important for us to be strong.
I know. I know you don't want to get wrapped up in this. I get my buddy JD on here sometime. We'll get political. That's no problem.
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Well, because we're talking about half the crowd, right?
Yeah.
And, I don't like doing that with people because everybody has a right to have their own opinions and feel and whatever. And, it's just, but we do have President Trump. He is our president. So
yes.
I support him. I didn't like a couple other presidents, but, I had my friends putting really ugly things on Facebook, and I would just message them and say, hey, that is our president.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though I don't like him either, I still don't think you should post that. I think you should really show more strength and support. Like, hey,
mm-hmm.
you might not like it, but I wouldn't put those derogatory posts about our president, even though you might feel that way. Just don't do it.
Oh, those are.
And that's just how I feel. I think you feel the same way. It's like they might be doing stupid stuff, but at the same, and you can voice your opinion, but I just don't think putting our president down, whoever he is, shows any strength whatsoever, because other countries watch everything.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing: those kind of people, I call them KJs, which are keyboard jockeys. They hide behind their keyboard.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They hide behind their keyboard. They think they're Billy Badass hiding behind the keyboard. Hey, all right, if that's what you want, great. Do it on your own page. Don't do it on mine.
Oh yeah, there's nothing worse, right, than this whole social media thing where people come over there and write something. And it's like, hey, wait a minute, don't come over here and trash my page. I think you had a conversation with my guy, and he ended up deleting everything. Remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the first time I met the guy. He started attacking you. So that's not. I don't want him attacking my friend.
I didn't read it. I didn't get to see it. I was busy, and you told me about it.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt he was attacking me because he was attacking me in my messenger privately a lot, and it was ugly. And I would just send back. He would write paragraphs, and they were foul. And I would just send back laughy faces like, I said, once I hear a curse word or you calling names to Trump or whoever or me, I don't even read past that. So you wrote 6 paragraphs and I don't even read it because I'm not going to read past that.
Yep.
Grow up. But I think the response of the laugh faces was a better response than anything. I'm not going to argue with somebody like that. I'm just not.
You're arguing with idiots is basically what it boils down to. And I say the same thing on the other side too. I mean, if I'm going to come at you on your page and start using profanity and calling a president an idiot and all kinds of derogatory names, whether I like him or not, or like her or not, that's not right. Why should I come on your page and do that? That's totally it's really inappropriate.
He did that regularly. Yeah, it really is. It just shows the childishness. And there's an attorney here, and 2 attorneys that I have on my Facebook here in town that are totally opposite than me. And every once in a while, the young handsome one will say terrible things, right? And pretty much propaganda, just lies. And I'm like, hey, Eric, really? That's not true. And that's all I say. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And so then I go get a document and I post it. I said, see, it's not my opinion. This is the documentation. And if you're going to say something, at least say the truth. And then you don't get a response because it's like, oh, shoot. Okay. And because it's not my opinion, it's not my thoughts. Here it is. You're saying something against what the truth is. You're just doing propaganda. And he knows how to argue with you, but when you do something like that, he'll stop. The other one, the goofy one,
Mm-hmm.
he was at the protest today and putting it all over Facebook. I posted something about working together or something. I can't remember.
Right.
And he actually came over and he'll say stuff. He came over. He said, you and I don't have the same. We don't agree on politics at all for the most part, but we still get along and we're nice to each other, and that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, thank you. I do appreciate it, because no, we don't agree, but I'm sure he's not a bad guy. We don't agree.
Right.
And he's respectful enough to say something like that. And it gives me, more hope in humanity when people do that. It's like, yeah, thank you so much for saying that, because I don't say anything ugly on his page.
Right. I had somebody post on my page, because I used to say, after President Trump got inaugurated, every day it's a great day to be an American and stuff like that, and people would post a lot of negative crap on there. And I had one person who I went to school with, and if you didn't know, back here it says Pumas. I'm at St. Joseph's College Puma, my alumni, an alma mater. Rest in peace, Pumas. And they're no longer around. But she graduated with me, and she comes on once and starts calling me all kinds of negative names, and she says, "You should be a better person than that. Remember, you're a fellow Puma. We were taught better than that." And blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. Now every other day on her page, she posts how shitty President Trump is, and he's crapping, and blah 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 blah. Now she lives the alternative lifestyle, which not good for you. I'm the type of guy, and I know you are as well, that as long as two adults are happy with each other, I don't care their race, religion, gender, whatever. Are you happy with each other? Great. Fantastic. I'll applaud you all day long. So it doesn't matter to me what your lifestyle is, but don't throw it in my face.
Yeah, and be a good person.
And be a good person. That's it. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, who cares? You can
look at.
I don't care. I don't have anything against people.
You can look at any kind of sexual orientation person, religious, race, whatever, and you're going to find idiots and jerks and assholes in all of them. Don't be one.
Right.
Don't be one. Just be a good person.
Exactly.
Just be a good person. You mentioned
that's true. It's true. I have friends of all different. And it's like I've been blocked. I've been cut off. I've been yelled at because I might have posted something that wasn't necessarily attacking any person or group.
Mm-hmm.
It was just because it was who it was, and they're against that person. And I've lost a couple super good friends that I had for years, and I'm like, but that wasn't attacking you. There was nothing about that attacked the way you live at all. It was just you don't like him. And I said, that's no reason to argue, and I won't lose. I hate losing a friend over something like that, because I wasn't attacking you. You just didn't like what I posted.
Is their choice.
And you think I should agree with you of who should be president. That's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to stand up for what I believe.
Yeah.
And I try not to attack people.
Yeah.
But I've lost over the years a couple friends, and I'm like, I try not to post too much political stuff. I do on my stories, because basically they go away in 24 hours. So, I just sneak them over there. But I try to be kind. I've tried to just mellow out with all that stuff, because
mm-hmm.
with my work at Certainty, one of the girls, the ladies that I work with, she's in Oregon, and I'm going to go see her, because there's like 3 of the ladies that I work with that live within an hour of each other up there in Oregon. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to come up there and we're going to go to lunch and hang out for a little bit, because these girls are great.
Yeah.
And one of them is definitely the opposite of me as far as politics go.
Mm-hmm.
And, and usually she'll post something, and I'll just make a comment. I'm like, I agree with most of what you said, but as you know, we have different ideas, and I just think this. And she'll say, well, Lana, this. And I'm like, well, you're right. And you have that right. And I said, but, in general, I think what you posted was probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not all the way in my mind, and that's okay. Love you, sis. But I work with these people, so I have to be, I don't attack, and I don't force my opinion on them.
Right.
They know how I feel, and I know how they feel. So we try to just be nice.
Right. Of course.
Because I would hate to lose those friends over that.
I look at
And
it.
we're adults, so we can all just play.
I look at it in more of a sports analogy because I'm a sports, well, not as much a hardcore sports fan, but like let's say you're a Yankees fan and your best friend is a Dodger fan. Okay, does that mean you guys can't have lunch, or you two can't go out and have a beer or hang out or work together? No,
Right.
you like two different teams. All right, move on with your life. That does not define who you are. It defines
Right.
what you
It doesn't.
like. Yeah, yeah.
You can rib each other. It's just like the
Oh
different,
yeah.
the Army, the Navy, the Marines. They all give each other a hard time, but they all basically work together.
Oh yeah.
But each one's the best, right, in their eyes.
Well, like
So it's kind
you're
of
in
like
Texas,
that.
so isn't it Texas versus Texas A&M? Isn't that a big rivalry?
Oh yeah,
I know
something.
Texas
Yeah,
and Oklahoma are big rivalries.
yeah.
Up around here.
And I'm not a big sports person.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, like we've got Matthew McConaughey. He's a big,
He's a Texas guy.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes, and I like him. I think he's a good guy. So, either way. And I don't ever care. I'm like, whoever wins. Okay, that's great.
Yeah. It's not going to change my life if my person or my team or my guy doesn't win. I'm a huge NASCAR fan. I like Rowdy Bush. I like Kyle Busch. He's having the last couple of years has been really bad. Do I center my life around it? No. Why? Because I don't. It has nothing.
Like NASCAR.
What?
I do like car racing. I had to change. Motor car racing. NASCAR.
I like those motorized vehicles racing around. I like that.
Why I always say. I think because I used to sit and watch those with my friend. He's passed away. He was from London, and of course he was very British. And I hung out with him a lot, actually. And there was a couple things that I got in the habit of saying with him because that's what he said. So I just say it back. And that's how he communicated. It's like speaking in Spanish to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would use his terminology sometimes, and some of it stuck. And people look at me sometimes. I'm like, I know. My other friend, I get in a habit of saying a couple words, but he didn't think anything of it. But yeah, I think I said that to you one time, and you're like, what? So I'm like, oh yeah. Not everybody says that.
This was funny. A few weeks ago, we had the Indianapolis 500, and around where I live, it's a big deal. Everybody watches the Indy 500 around where I live. Whether you're NASCAR, whether you're a racing fan or not, you watch Indy 500. And so my mother and I were watching it together, and my mother's from Italy. Her sister still lives in Italy. They're both in their 80s. And so they call each other every day. So we're watching the race, and my aunt, my mom's sister, calls her, and they said, "What are you doing?" Mom says, "I'm watching a race." And her sister says, "Oh, is that the F1 race, the Formula One race, which is another kind of racing over in Europe?" And Mom says, "I don't know." My aunt says, "Well, what kind of cars are they?" Mom says, "Well, there's a red one there. There's a yellow one. There's a green one. I don't know what kind of cars they are."
Oh, that's adorable.
There's a red one. There's a yellow one.
Like the motor car racing.
I don't know what kind of cars they are.
Right. I do think in Austin they have a Formula One racetrack here in Austin, Texas.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Wait, I think Austin, is that where they have the Circuit of the Americas? Does that sound familiar? COTA? There's a track somewhere in Texas. It's called COTA, and that stands for Circuit of the Americas. And it's a Formula One race. It's basically a road race. And the NASCAR goes there. I think IndyCar goes there. I would assume Formula One goes there as well, but I don't know for sure. But I don't know. I don't follow Formula One.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool? Speaking of motor car racing, so I come from, my hometown is this very small country town. There was 83 of us or so that graduated in my class.
That's smaller than my class.
I love the whole. Yeah. I like small town stuff because I'm still really good friends with my high school friends. Like we still talk.
Okay.
And so it's a very small town. Well, there's mountains and hills, right?
Yeah.
Well, we lived out on, well, my dad still lives there. It's called Airport Road because it takes you out to the little private airport out there. So they named it Airport Road many years ago. And that, if you keep going, you go out there to the hills. And my dad and I used to go out there to the hills and go trapsing around. Well, it's been years, but they built, like Jay Leno and all them go hang out there, and they have this big racetrack.
He's a big car guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I go there, I'm going to see if I can get invited to there.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Yeah. I'm going to try and figure out some way to get in there because you have to be a member or get invited. And one of my little friends, he used to cook for them out there. So, but he doesn't do that anymore. So I won't be able to get invited by him. So I'm going to have to find somebody to get into that gate.
Dude, you're a hot chick. You are a hot chick. You'll get in. Hot chicks have way easier times to get into places than us guys. So don't go there. You can.
Well, not as hot as you say, but thank you. You just make me blush.
You no, not as hard as you. Whatever.
Oh, listen. I do have to say this. When I was younger, I had these young guys that kept stalking me, and it happened more than once. But this one time, I finally turned around and I was hiding from them because they were following me. So I jump into a store, and I'm like, "What are they doing? Why are these guys following me?" They were younger, a little group of guys. And I was like, what are they doing? I was trying to figure out I wasn't afraid of them because I was in the mall, but I was like, what are they doing? They're following me. And they're giggling and, boys.
Yeah.
And so finally they were like, I lost them. And they were walking. And so I started walking the other way. Well, they turned around and followed me. So I just stopped. I turned around. I said, why are you following me? Like what? And they just looking at me and they're laughing and they're just like, can we have your autograph? I'm like, what? My autograph? Who do you think I am? And they said, Julia Roberts. I'm like, well, I did have the big hair like her. I was thin. I did dress the same way. I mean, that was the thing, right? And I was tall and lanky and had the red, her hair the way it was, big hair and all that.
Wow.
And they were convinced. And I said, I'm not Julia Roberts. So like, yes, you are. We know you are. And I'm like, I'm not.
You should just give him an autograph and forget about it.
I said, I did. I gave him, I said, okay. And I signed my name. I said, but I'm not Julia Roberts. And I got that the other day on my birthday. I was sitting there with my friends. Him and his son took me out to dinner. And we're sitting there at this really nice steakhouse. And our waiter just kept acting so weird. And I was asking him questions and he just kept acting weird. And I'm like, you do have that, right? And he's like, yes, of course, I'll bring it to you. And I'm like, okay. So he went and he comes back and he said, I just have to say this. He said, you look just like Julia Roberts. And I'm like, well, thank you. He goes, yes, you do. He said, I actually thought you were when you walked in. I said, well, thank you. Because I think she's cute. Her whole thing is cute.
I think she's cute.
Gorgeous, but she's cute. She is. She really is to me. I think Sandra Bullock is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But Julia Roberts is just. I think she's beautiful, but I think she's just cute. And I'm like, well, thanks. So I got on my 60th birthday. I got a great compliment, and I took it. I said, well, thank you.
So wait a second. You've mentioned this several times. Did I miss your birthday?
It's not on Facebook. I didn't put it on there. It was on the 5th of June.
Holy moly. I think or did I? Maybe I sent you a message. I don't know if I did or not, but happy birthday.
Thank you. No, I didn't. Yeah, I took it off of Facebook because,
you're like me. I
don't know why.
My birthday's not on Facebook anywhere. I don't post it anywhere. No.
When's your birthday?
February 20th.
Yeah, I'll have to put you a happy birthday on your birthday.
So I'm a Pisces. I'm right on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. So what are you? What is June 5th?
Oh, I'm the best. I'm a Gemini.
You're the best. Please. Please.
Oh, I'm a Gemini. I've got quite a thing going on. Pretty interesting. I think, yeah, Geminis are very interesting.
So Julia Roberts. Now, Isn't she's about our age. I'm a couple years younger than you, but isn't Julie Roberts our age? Do you know how old she is?
Yes. Yes, she is. She might be a year older than me, maybe. But I don't know. I know she's about the same age.
Okay. But you're better looking than her.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that.
Well, thank you. But I'm not. But thank you. But thank you.
All right, babes. I'm going to let you go. So I'm gonna do a few more things on my show and finish it up. But thank you for being the first call ever on my show. I don't know if it's ever. I think I had somebody else a few years ago. But this is a new setup I have, and so thank you for being the guinea pig and doing this. Appreciate it.
Well, we'll have to do something that you want to talk about, and I'll be happy to call in and entertain.
Well, yeah, and we did this with the carnivore stuff, so I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll be talking off air sometime, and we'll get together soon.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. For those tuning in, hi, Ethan, by the way, if you're still listening. And who's this other one? Apostrophe 10, whoever that is. I have no idea what you wrote because it's in a different language, but thank you very much. Something about Boost Graham. I don't know. But appreciate my good friend Alana was on here, and we were talking for the longest time about carnivore, about politics, a carnivore diet, that is, politics, everything. And talked about the pond, and didn't get into the boats much and everything, things of that sort. But that was fun. Oh man, now that I know how to do that, or that I can do that, we're gonna have to do this more often. Here's what I'm gonna do, and I got this from Terry James. And if anybody ever listens to Lex and Terry radio program, he mentioned doing this. I don't know if he did or not, but I think I'm going to do this one night as well. He's just going to come on live like I am here. He does a live show as well, not the radio show, but he does other live streaming shows. And he's just going to post the phone number, not say a word. And I've been thinking about doing this before he actually said it. So, but I can't claim it because I never verbalized this. So I'll give him credit for it. So Terry, if you're watching, I would love for you to be part of my show sometimes, but I will post the phone number and just talk with somebody who comes up. I'll give it like a 5 or 10 minute countdown. Yeah, that's what I'll do. A 5 or 10 minute countdown of whoever calls. We have 5 or 10 minutes to chit chat about whatever, and then we'll let it go away. Ethan, you're still there? Great. Hi, Bill. Bill's here as well. Hello, Bill. Well, we've had an interesting evening. And I hope it's been entertaining for folks out there. I hope it has been. Ethan, we'll have you call in one night as well. I'm not going to do it this evening. It wouldn't be fair to you at this point because I'm not going to say too much more. A lot of the stuff I was going to get into, trading, crypto trading. We talked about the Army Parade a little bit. I was going to talk about stupid people, which I didn't get into. My boat and my motor, I didn't get into that much. Illegal aliens, Yahoo stories I have written down here. Holy moly, I had a bunch of stuff I was going to get into, but I didn't this evening. This has been interesting in more ways than one because Alana is a good friend of mine. We've never met physically before. We're internet friends. We met through a mutual business we were doing, which is defunct now, unfortunately. But we met through that, and she is a very interesting lady, and very successful lady as well. And I respect her so much for everything she does, and easy on the eyes as well, guys. I'm kind of scared to meet her because I don't want her to look at me and like, ugh, you look so much better on the camera than you do off camera. So I don't want that. So I need to make myself more presentable for when I ever do meet her. Anyway, I know if you're still listening, Lana, thank you. But yeah, Ethan, well, we'll get you on here one day. Ethan is a young man who is doing photography and for all kinds of different things. And he's also in the high school band and middle school band and things of that sort. Up and coming, great citizen of this area. And you're going to go far, my friend. Keep listening to your father. And we'll go from that. And make sure, happy Father's Day tomorrow to your dad. I know you posted something about you going on a trail ride today or a trail walk. So that was great. Ethan, so how are you, Andrew? Andrew's been doing great tonight. Cheers. And you don't get any of this until you turn 21. But once you do turn 21, if I'm still doing this, we will definitely have a belt together. Okay. Whew. Mercy. Jonathan or JD out there. I don't know if you've been listening or not. If you were, I should have warned you ahead of time. We should have came on here and talked politics tonight with my buddy JD, and we could have went that route. But you know what? I think okay, Ethan, no problem, buddy. I think for the rest of the evening, I'm gonna call it quits. Who knows? I might come on later on, but here it is. I'm getting old. I'm telling you, my bedtime is usually way before this because I wake up so damn early and I work out and stuff. And so, yeah, I have some news coming up in the next few weeks. I can't really say so yet about it. Excuse me, but that's what it is. So I'm going to stop it here. Folks, thanks for being here. My name is Andrew, Popcorn and Whiskey. I am the face who runs the place. My good friend Lana was my guest this evening. Thank you, Lana, so much. It has been great. And we will be doing this again, I'm sure, in the future. And what did I just? Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Ethan said if he's still up. If I go back on, I will definitely let you know, Ethan. And all of a sudden, I just had a flux of people jump on because I can see how many people I have watching. I don't know which platform they're watching from, but I just had an influx of people jump on. And here it is. I'm going to be jumping off of here. But okay. Okay, Ethan. Yeah, if I'm still on, if I come on, I'll definitely let you know. Okay, my friend. All right, so that's it. I'll stop it here. Thank you for all being. Thank you for all being here. Thank you all for being here. So until next time, my name is Andrew. I am the face who runs the place. Popcorn and Whiskey. Until next time, ciao.